Hi, this is Kat yet again. This video today that I'm making is about depression. I've had depression before, many times. Deep down depression that's lasted for months, weeks, days, all of that. So, what I want to say first is if you don't understand depression, it is a state of mind. It is something in here clicks and it just can't click back. You have to work your way up out of it, like you're, I don't know, and down into something, and you gotta work your way up out of this little pit that you're kind of in. And how I usually do it is I try to help other people. I'm on the internet. I'm on an OA Facebook page, and I help other ladies and other gentlemen, and I'm doing videos. So the more I do for others, the more I pull myself out of my own depression. And so usually when it hits, for people that don't know, because I know that there are people out there that just don't know what depression is like, and that is okay. God bless you. I'm not blaming you at all. But it is just a state of mind. It's the consequences are out the window. No cause and effect. No, your friends are going out. Oh, I don't care. There's no irrational thinking in there, and there's no and there's no, how do you say it, bargaining with you, with the person that is depressed. So when I find that I get depressed, and it's usually over something that is I have to make a decision in my life and I don't want to make it, and I get very stubborn, prideful, depressed, and I'm not, and this is also goes with bipolar. I don't know how much of bipolar or depression is in bipolar and bipolar or in reverse is in depression, but I know that they marry. They're kind of, like, I don't know, but they're together often. And I can't say that I have ever been clinically diagnosed with bipolar, but I know that I've had at least a slight to mild touch of it, especially when I was younger. And I just, one second I was fine, and the next I was flying off the walls, pissed off about something. Excuse me. So this is more about not what you have, but how to get out of it. And I find that if I'm sitting there and on the couch all day with my pajamas on, just eating away, and that's what people do that have depression, and they try to eat their feelings, and not everybody. Some people it's drink their feelings, some people it's drug their feelings, some people it's sex their feelings. So whatever your kind of coping mechanism is, it comes out more when you're depressed, to try to feed what is in here, and it's not going to work because only God can fill that need in you. Okay? So what I try to do, and it doesn't always work, and I can't say that I'm like a poster girl for coming out of depression, because I've had my fair share of it. I've had a lot. I've had a lot. So if somebody's going to be talking to you about it, I'm glad that I am, because I have had my share. Oh Lord Jesus. Yes. So what I do is I get up, and you make choices, one choice at a time. Like, you don't figure out what you're having for dinner 3 days ahead for 3 days from now. You figure, okay, I'm at breakfast, my lunch, what is my next meal? Okay? And it's the same for people that are depressed. I'm laying here in bed, I just had a full night's sleep, or maybe 3 days sleep, and what do? You get up. And I know that sounds so simple, but for somebody that's depressed to just actually get up, you're doing good. So, and it's not sarcasm. I'm very serious today about this issue, because I've had it, and I would like to try to help some other people to recognize the signs of depression. As for an example, when I was depressed, whenever I get depressed, I don't clean my house at all. Usually it is pretty. I'm not going to say it's clean, but it's very uncluttered, and I'm not on severe OCD. I used to be severe, and now I'm kind of mild. But That's one sign for me that I don't clean my house. I don't do my dishes when I'm depressed. Another sign is that I don't go out. I don't get the mail. I don't go out with friends. I don't go to church. I don't help people on the internet. And that's another sign that I'm hiding away. Excuse me. So, another thing for me is music. I love music, and music is a big getter-goer for me. I get up and get going, and sorry for the glare. This is one of my songs that I love to get up with, and I just blare it when I'm in the shower, and, you know, I try to put a little bit of makeup on to make, you know, feel like, okay, I'm doing something today, and I know that sounds weird. So, this is one of my songs. I hope it's not too loud. Uh-oh. No, I just messed it up. But here, it's coming in a minute. So, computer. Sorry. Hope there's no... If there's an ad, I'll just... There's an ad, so I'll just wait. It's about a 20-second ad, so I'll just keep on talking. So when I'm depressed, I have to put on some music, and I have to put on the right music because some other music will irritate the heck out of me, and I'll just turn it off. So you got to really get the good music for yourself. Okay, here we go. This is a song by Mandisa. And this is my jam, this is my song. And this is really gets me going in the morning when I'm very depressed, when I'm very down. Either that or maybe I'm not depressed and I'm like, ooh, I'm just lazy. Don't do that. Somebody doesn't want me to make this video. Well, anyway. Wow. So, I tried to play that, but the enemy does not want me to make this video, but I'm going to keep on going. So, the song is Overcomer by Mandisa, and you can check her out on YouTube or whatever, you know, you want to. And then there's also the song Good Morning by Mandisa, which is awesome. You just get up and you put it on and you feel like getting up. So that's another thing to take a shower, you know, just step by step by step. You're just, you know, doing things for yourself. Make breakfast for yourself. Start out with the day moving, because if you start out and you get up from your bed and you go to the couch and you flick on the TV, that is not going to help you get out of it. It'll help you get deeper into it. And the trick about depression is once you're into it, it's have a really hard time coming out of it. So try to recognize the signs. The signs are, you don't just, reason goes out the window. There's no cause and effect. There's no, it's, you stop caring. You know, your friends are going out and what you would usually like to do, or maybe you're going to, you know, church with your sisters and you'd like to do that, and it's just things that normally would please you and you would like to go out and do and be active are kind of, I don't want to say sickening, but they're just, you don't want to do them. You don't care. So those are some signs that you can see. And try to get up and go for a walk every day, even if it's just to get the mail. Go walking around your neighborhood. Say you don't have a great neighborhood, go walking somewhere else. Go walking in the mall. You know, transportation for a lot of people are an issue, just as me. I walk around my neighborhood. I'm not in a residential. I'm in a complex. I wouldn't say exactly ghetto, but it's not, you know, it's not, you know, awesome mansions and stuff. So, and it's hard to have bipolar and also be a child to the Lord, because when you come to the Lord, you're supposed to put the flesh aside. But it's hard to put the flesh aside when you're living in the flesh. So what I say would work the best for me, and I can't be a hypocrite here. I have not done my scriptures in a really long time. I just started yesterday with them, and I read about 2 of them. So I'm starting off slow again. But the more you are in the Word, the more the enemy cannot mess with you. The more you will start to see the telltale signs of who is talking to you. Is it the enemy or is it the Lord? And after you're in that Word and you have conversations with God and you get some answers and you don't get some answers or whatever, that walk with the Lord. Am I losing you already? I'm sounding like I am. That's why I ask. It will be, I can't say it's easier, but it will be harder for the enemy to tempt you, and for him to talk to your mind, and for you to be in depression if you're in that Word every single day. I'm not saying you have to be 5 hours in that Word. I'm not saying you have to even be 1 hour in that Word. Read 1 scripture a day. Read 2 scriptures a day. Read, the In Touches, the Days of Praise, Daily Bread, just a little something. And what I do is lately I've been keeping it in my bathroom. When I go to the bathroom, I just sit there for a second. Might be TMI, but it's true. And I just read it and like, oh, okay. Then I go about my day. It doesn't have to be a big, huge thought process. It's just something, the Word of God getting into you every day. Every day. And even if it isn't that, go on YouTube and watch Creflo Dollar, Joyce Meyer, Joel Osteen. Now, what I love about the Sunday morning lineup is what it used to be. I have not had TV in 2 years. It was Charles Stanley, and he was heavy into the Word, and he would give you really what you needed. And then there was Joel Osteen, and he kind of had the fluff. He had the prettier, the looking at sides, don't be down, don't be this, don't be that. Just say yes, claim it in the name of Jesus. Yes, I am a child of the Most High God. And he kind of had the more surface stuff. And then here comes Creflo on top of that. So it was deep, truthful, deep stuff. And then it was Osteen with the fluff, prettier stuff, which is just to tell you all these good things about yourself and try to keep on going. And then there goes Creflo, like right down into the deep, to make you accountable for yourself. So those things are other things that can bring you out or keep you out of depression. It's when you get in depression, it is more like sorry, I'm trying to do the song again for you. It is just once you get in there, it's hard to get out. But the Word of God can keep you out, or can be less tempting for you to slide back in it. So I don't know if I'm getting anywhere or not. I don't know, but I know that when I had depression, I wouldn't clean, I wouldn't go out, I wouldn't get the mail, I would not even put on underwear. And I know that sounds a little crazy, but it's true. When you're in depression, the thought process going from, I don't like to say the word normal, because nobody's normal. Everybody has issues. Going from everyday life of what you're used to crying, anger, fits of anxiety, fits of nobody cares about me, boo hoo hoo. And the more you get into the oh poor me, the worse, the harder it is to get out. So what I would say to you is recognize when depression hits. Sometimes I don't recognize it till about 3 days after it hits, because we manipulate ourselves so well. And that's why you need brothers and sisters to keep you accountable. So when they start seeing a change in you, they can say, what's wrong? They can say, I see a change in you, and what's going on lately? How are you doing? And that's what I love about brothers and sisters in Christ and your friends is they can notice things that you don't even notice because you're manipulating yourself so well to not even want to see it. Or the enemy is manipulating you so well for you to not see it. Because once you see it, then you have to rise up out of that and come back to your normal state or your state that you were in before. So I would say get up in the morning, just get up. Take a shower. That's the first thing that you need to do is to take a shower, brush your teeth. Brush your teeth, put on some nice clothes. Or put on some clothes, sweatpants and a t-shirt. It's okay. As long as you're dressed, you're showered, and then you're up. And even if you don't literally get out of the house, you're more in the mindset of going. Instead of if you just stay in your pajamas, you're like, oh, I don't feel like doing anything. And you're just sitting there watching movie after movie after movie. But like me, I'm not really doing anything today. I just got up, showered, got dressed, did my hair, a little bit of lipstick, and that was it. And that just helps me, it helps to propel myself during the day. So that way, whoever calls, I'm up in. And it also, by getting your body ready, it's kind of like stacking. It gets your mind ready as well for whoever calls, whatever you want to do on the internet. I'm still looking for that song, by the way. And of course, it's going to have an ad. But this song is just, I love it. It gets me going every day. It's and choose music that you'll like at any time. I know we have different variations of what we like, but just choose something that, not again. The enemy does not want me making this video. That is twice now. I tried it on Chrome and I tried it on the Internet Explorer, and both stopped working. Wow. I must be pissing the enemy off today, and I love it. So, also, keep your hands busy. I'm an overeater, and I have to freely admit that, and I'm in OA, and I need help. And the first thing that even if nobody else knows, you have to say, okay, I need help. And don't be shy about asking for help, and don't be embarrassed, because at least everybody once in their life has had depression or knows somebody who has had depression, bipolar issues. So don't be embarrassed. Don't be, that is the flesh again rising up and saying, oh, I can't tell anybody. They'll judge me. No, if they're your true brothers and sisters in Christ and your friends and your family, they will not judge you. And believe me, and even if you're not in OA, come join the OA Facebook group. And you can post recipes, and it's not about weight loss, but it's a place that is supportive, very, very non-judgmental. And there might be a couple, jerks in the crowd here and there, but I've in the last year that I've been on this Facebook page, I found one. And there's over 5,000 members, and they're just good people because they've been there. So, also, keep your hands busy. Keep your hands busy and, do crafts. I know macho guys don't want to do crafts and stuff like that, but do stuff. Work on your car. Just go out and keep busy. All the time I'm always doing things. I'm a very crafty person, and I just making these earrings right now. Very cute, right? And I'm making all these bracelets and all this jewelry, and just a whole lot of stuff I'm making. And just you keep busy, even if you're not. Don't get up and go anywhere. And I'm disabled, so I don't have a job. And I stay at home and I clean my house, my apartment, I clean myself. I was going somewhere else with that, but no. It's just you have to keep busy and you have to remember that you're human and it is okay. And you're not gonna, and you have to remember when you're in that state of mind, it doesn't last forever. You know, in that state of mind, you could easily get so much more discouraged and want to give up on life. I've been there. But especially if you're here, this is where I get so serious and take my glasses off. If you're here, the Lord has already sent for you. And if you're not Christian, if you're not saved, I urge you to at least try it. Give it a good try. You'll be no worse off with the Lord in your life. I promise you that. Everybody has to go through their journey, their obstacles, their sadness, their happiness, their triumphs. That is life. But don't you want to know that you're saved, going to be going to heaven when you die? Our bodies are here for only so long. This life is not meant to last forever, not for anybody. And I was telling the Lord the other day, thank you, that it's not the day in Noah where he lived to be like 600-700 years old. Now the norm is, maybe 80 years old? 70, 80? And I know that sounds kind of weird to say, but I'm glad that it's not up to 600-700 years old. Can you imagine? I got off topic, but I just want you to empower yourselves that depression is not a death sentence. Bipolar is not a death sentence. You can deal with it. And you can deal with it clinically. You can deal with it supernaturally, meaning that you can ask the Lord to heal you. You have to work on it yourself, though. So, I mean, I end up rambling with these videos, and I don't know if they ever do any good or not, but let me know if I hit a core. You know, it's I know that when I'm depressed, and there's been many times I've said this before, I have to just make myself move. Whatever, I go clean out a closet. I know that does not feel very appetizing. Oh, let's go clean a closet, yeah! But after you get done with cleaning that closet, you'll say, oh, I've accomplished something today. That makes me feel better. And then it'll rise you up more out of it. So the more things you do for yourself, the more things you do for others, will rise you up out of that conflict, that depression, that bipolar. Now, it depends how severe you are in your bipolar. You might need to take some medication, and I'm not going to say that you shouldn't, because I think that certain people should take medication for certain things. I believe that. But I also believe that if you want to be healed, and you ask the Lord to heal you, and you work on it, and the Lord works on it with you, then you can accomplish that. You and the Lord can both accomplish that together. I truly believe that. So, this is the end of my video. 20 minutes up. And just, get up and go. Don't worry about what am I doing 5 hours from now. Don't worry about it. Just like no way. Just worry about your next meal. Just worry about 1 hour. Just worry about 10 minutes. And if you can't even think about the whole hour, just think, what am I doing for the next 10 minutes? And if you get there, I know it's bad. I know it's heavy, and it's hard, and it hurts, and it really sucks and you know in your mind that you should not be thinking this way, and you should not be feeling this way, and you should be feeling the other way. Okay, I gotta stop saying that because I'm about to get in it myself. But you can come up out of this. call a friend, say, I'm really depressed. Let's take me to a movie. I'll pay you back next week. Just get me out of there. I might not want to talk about it. You have to be prepared to tell them, I don't want to talk about it, because then you might get them depressed, or you might get more depressed yourself. Or if you feel like it's the Lord is leading you to talk about it, then do that. That's why, again, I make these videos, so I get it out. And I write poetry to get it out. And I sing songs to get it out. And somebody like me has been swallowing a lot of stuff on my life. And it's you just take so much in. And if you don't filter that, or if you only take a little bit and you just say no to the rest of the world, then I think the depression is less. But I'm a kind of person that I have a hard time being in confrontation. I have a hard time telling somebody, even if they are being a real jackass. Excuse me, Lord, I'm swearing. That to say, excuse me, you're being really rude right now. Can you please stop it? I have a hard time doing that. So, just make sure that you're not swallowing everybody else's stuff, because that is when you start to really internalize on yourself and saying, oh wow. And then you hear the enemy, once you get to that state, then the enemy pushes it even further and says, oh, you're a loser, and you're this, and you're that, and you're no good, and you can't do anything right. And there's so many things that you have no idea what the enemy is telling you. You have no idea until you start walking with the Lord. And 5 years later, you look back and you say, oh, okay. Well, I was told this by the enemy. Didn't realize that I thought it was myself. Or I was told this by somebody else and didn't realize it was a stronghold. So you have no idea, like the things that people say to you, that you think that you are, but you're not. You're not a loser. I don't care what schooling you did or did not have. I don't care what family you were brought up in. And one thing you have to know is every single family in this whole entire world is dysfunctional. Because we're all dysfunctional. Because we're not perfect. God is the only perfect one. So this is probably about a 25-minute video, and I gotta stop now. Oh, 30 minutes. So, if you have any questions, feel free to question me, to ask me. And like I said, I've been through this before. I'm just turned 38. And I've been depressed ever since I was a teenager, and I've been in it for a while. But like I said, the more I'm in the Word every day, and make sure that you're around people. And I know it's hard, because that is the opposite of what depression does. And I'll say this last thing, because I said it before, because you can manipulate yourself so well you don't even realize you're doing it. And when you're around people, they can see what you're doing to yourself. Some people can. I'm not saying everybody can. Not everybody's, have other working parts. But anyway, people will see how you're acting, how your posture is, how you're talking, if you're confident, if you're withdrawn. They can see, and then they can say to you, is something wrong? Would you like to talk about it? Can we do something about this? And that's why you need people in your life. That's why you need friends. That's why you need Christian counselors, therapists, because they will check you when you cannot check yourself. All right, so love yourselves, even though it's hard. I'm still working on it. And let the Lord rule in your life. Let it stop being your show. Let it be the Lord's. And once you really, truly give it to the Lord, then just wonderful things will happen. And I thought that I used to have to be so angry at people when they said nasty things. And I thought that I had to hold on to that anger. And for the last year and a half, I would say maybe a year, I'd say, okay, Lord, I heard that. I can sit here and I can either be angry about it, or I can just say, okay, I give it to you. Not saying that I'm not going to be any angrier about it, or less angry, or forgetful, or forgiving, but Lord, if you have it, I know that I don't need to do anything with it. So there we go. So there's a little half an hour show about depression, how to get out of depression, how to see the signs of depression, bipolar, and how to call on the Lord to help you with it. So God bless you. Bless yourselves. Love yourselves. And be nice to yourself. Stop manipulating yourself. All right.